keep my balance the best I can, and block. Stab with it, poke or thrust. Protect your head. Protect your head. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. Hey, you ever use one of these in your life? Either you had an injury or something and you were walking with a cane, or maybe you're a little bit later on in your years and you use one of these all the time and you felt kind of a little bit like not quite defenseless, but like, man, a bad guy might look at you like an easier target because you have one of these. Well, I've used a cane before in my life. Nothing ever long-term, thank God. But I remember when I was using a cane, I'm a martial artist, and I felt like, oh man, I'm almost at a disadvantage. What if somebody tried to take advantage of me and I'm not on my game? And it's obvious that I'm not on my game. I'm limping, however banged up I was, and here I was using this thing. But I'll tell you what, there's some pretty cool ways to use this thing to defend yourself, and I'm going to show you how to do it. Stick around. What's up, warriors? It's Kyoshi Dave Herman with 5 Elements Tactical Training, here to share with you some warrior skills and drills that anyone can learn and everyone should know. If you're new to the channel, welcome, and thanks for stopping by. If you already follow us on social media and that's how you find your way over to this channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the bell notification button and the little thing where it says all notifications, so YouTube will let you know when the next video drops, and you get all sorts of cool content from here as well. All right, so check it out. A while back, I did a video on basic stick techniques, like for self-defense. And the premise of like pretty much my entire channel is like geared towards the beginners out there, the most basic students, the people that are like just starting to get their feet wet with something. So I always try to keep it as simple as I can, as basic as I can, so it's not overwhelming. I don't want to give you the fancy stuff or the complicated stuff, which you probably wouldn't learn. You could if you put some time and effort in, but I want it to be like, you could watch this and I just give you some ideas that hopefully it'll send you down the YouTube rabbit hole for whatever it is that you're trying to learn, and you'll learn more stuff about whatever field of endeavor 5 Elements is trying to teach you. If you're interested in learning how to use a cane for self-defense, I would say that either A, you learn how to do it so that if, God forbid, you ever have an accident and you need to use a cane, you're kind of ahead of the curve and you already know how to use it. If you were ever like in some sort of like in a fight or something and there was a cane available for you to pick up and grab, like I wouldn't yank it off an old lady or something like that, but if I saw one and she was sitting down and not using it and I could use it to pick it up and defend myself, then I feel like that's fair game. Or you already use a cane, like you're either at that stage in your life, or you had an accident, or you have some sort of injury or limitation or whatever it is, and this is part of your everyday life, this is part of your everyday carry. Wow, well, what's the silver lining on that? Is that you already have a tool that you could use for self-defense. Make sense? All right, so some very basic skills, tips, and methods for using a cane. Now again, some of the videos that I've watched and skills that I've learned and techniques that I know are, do they work? Sure. But again, your level of skill to start learning that stuff you'd have to be at a higher level to kind of like, for that stuff to make sense to you. So the way I start out students who come in here, either I have students that have an accident or something and they're walking with a cane and they have that same sense of fear, like, Kyoshi, what do I do if someone tries to beat me up while I got my cane? I'm like, yo, dude, here's some cool skills on how you use that thing if that should happen. Obviously, your best bet is to walk your way out, talk your way out, hobble your way out, but to do whatever you have to do to not fight. Make sense? If somebody wants your wallet, give them your wallet. It's going to suck. You're going to be mad about it. You might have some sentimental stuff in there that, hey, if they want your wallet, say, hey, could I just have my wedding photo or my, the picture my grandkid made me or whatever's in there, and hopefully you get a nice bad guy. And if not, they just take your stuff and they leave and you live to tell the story. Whereas you start trying to fight for something like that, you might put yourself in a worse situation. Okay? Okay. So I know some people will hold their cane this way with the hook or the handle kind of pointing behind them. And if that's how you feel comfortable, then I don't want to change that. I'll show you how I do it, how I learned it, how I teach it, and maybe you want to give it a shot. I hold it with the hook pointed forward for a few reasons, but the easiest reason is this, that I can flip this thing up, which is a great exercise. I tell my grandfather, just for his grip strength and for his dexterity and stuff like that, hold on to something else for balance and just practice. Bring it up, put it down. 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 And then you start to like, well, how could I use that as a means for just like any other self-defense technique that I teach is how do I strike somebody in the groin to kind of break their concentration and soften up their intention of hurting me, okay? So first technique is how do I hit them in the groin? Or I could poke. So this hand is loose, similar to how when you play pool or billiards. You could use this is really for your aiming purpose, and this is your strike, okay? This comes from bow staff and Joe staff training, or staff training. Not staff like at work, staff like how do I use a stick to hurt somebody with it or defend myself. So 1 to the groin, simple, is just kind of flip it up. 2 is if I felt myself like, whoa, keeping my balance, I'm going to hold, bring it up, aim this fist as if I was going to like strike to the groin this way, but I stab, 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 stab. This is my aim, this is my power. This is my steer, this is my acceleration. Your steering wheel, your gas pedal, okay? Boom. Option 2, that's another way. The other reason why I like holding it this way is, again, because I can lift, by loosening my grip and bringing up my guard, with doing nothing else but letting gravity control the stick or the cane, I bring my hand up like a fighting stance, like my guard, and with a loose grip, I keep the ring, lift it, and if I get my hand up and my elbow down, now when I tighten my grip, just like holding that tunfa, in this position where I can block, I can use the same concept with the cane. I bring my guard up, side view. The hook is on my thumb side. I loosen my grip, bring my guard up, and now the cane is an outside, like an extension of my arm on the outside that I could use to, like, oh my God, hold on to something else for balance, or keep my balance the best I can, and block, or block, or block, or hold it like a shield, okay? So it's important for you to understand how to, 1, maintain your balance with this. It's important for you to learn how to like keep some sort of like defensive posture or guard position, so that if you had to like, oh my God, use it as a shield to defend against a willful attacker, that's one way to do it. And from this position, I can also, almost like I was going to throw a ball, I just swing it over. And again, there's no moving parts on the cane, so it's really just where I tighten my grip. I can loosen my grip to twirl it in or downward. I can loosen my grip to swing it, tighten my grip again, either to stab with it, A lot of this is contingent on your level of fitness, strength, dexterity, balance, coordination. So again, you're going to pick and choose which of these, like, I think I could do that, or I'd like to try that, and whatever works for you is what you're going to go with. So we have to the groin. We have the poke or thrust to the groin. Thrust a little bit more powerful, a little bit more intense, but it requires a little bit more strength and balance on your part. Poke, it's quick, like whipping somebody with something. Thrust is more like as if I was going to fall into him. I'm not just hitting with my, I'm doing it as if I was doing a hammer fist, but I'm letting the point or the tip or the bottom of the cane be the thing that pierces the gut, the solar plexus. Maybe if I hit to the groin and I got some sort of like, ugh, and now he exposes the throat or the face, those are very, very good targets as well. Another great strike, without holding on with two hands and trying to do this stuff, which is okay. That's another form of both striking and blocking, right? How do I, use this thing as, like two hands on it to like protect your head, protect your body. Some people will say have both hands in the same direction, whether they're both palm up or they're both palm down. Some styles teach that. I learned always like similar to holding a baseball bat or a golf club or or a sword, is one hand in each direction, so that if ever it got like somebody very powerfully was to knock it out of one of my hands, it'll stay in the other that I could trap and strike. If somebody were to strike up forcefully and it was to get knocked out of one of my hands, it stays in the other That was the reasoning behind how I learned it, when I learned it, and that's the reasoning I use when I teach it, because that's how I feel comfortable doing it. Holding it, thumb towards the hook. One hand, swing down like a 45-degree angle, down. And then it should flow back, 2, down, back. So what becomes this kind of like figure 8. But it all starts as 1, 2, 1, 2. Now, again, if this is as hard as you could do it, well then your aim should be better, right? If you don't have a whole lot of power, make where you hit count. The collarbone, the skull, the face, like anywhere on the face, really, the eyes, the nose, and the bony parts. So like, move to the side and strike the knee. Move to the side and strike the knee. Move to the side, strike the elbow. To the elbow. To the rib. To the rib. So anywhere, whether I'm going to swing it like the twirl swing by the hook or the cane swing by the handle. 1, 2, 1, 2. And this is where a lot of the stuff in the stick for self-defense video, same skills, just a longer stick. Same skills, longer stick. So this is what I was using the other one. It's like a 28 or 29 inch stick. So it's like the same stick, plus a little bit more with the hook. But those skills, 1, 2, again, aiming for like bony things like the elbow or rib, elbow, rib, knee, wrist. If somebody was holding something and trying to hit you with it, try to hit the hand that's holding the thing, or try to hit the wrist of the hand that's holding the thing. So another very important part of the cane is the hook. And now not all canes have the same type of hook. I know my grandfather used one that has like a straight handle, looks almost like a letter L. But that could also be used for like pulling somebody off balance, trapping their arm and pulling their arm. If your balance is strong enough that you could almost like fall into them and pull their foot out from underneath them. Again, those are a little bit more challenging techniques and a little bit more advanced techniques that your skill set and skill level would need to be a little bit higher. But again, if you're holding it, like even if you were losing your balance and you like the first thing you did was grab your cane and you happen to be holding it like this, even your strikes to the face or the throat or the neck or the sternum or the solar plexus, using that bigger surface, like you might go to hit with the point of your cane and miss. You could go with the point of your cane and miss and hit them with the handle and, you know, rake their face, or just think when that adrenaline kicks in and you're just like, I'm going to mess you up, man. And hopefully a handful of skills and a handful of adrenaline will help you get through it and survive it. But if you were to pick up your cane and you're holding it like this, you could very easily use that flat part, curved part, handle part to strike the face, to strike the throat, to strike the side of the neck, solar plexus, to the groin, anywhere that's like anywhere that's available and that you feel comfortable. Like if you're on the smaller side, you're not going to jump up and do some crazy move unless you can, but otherwise you're going to go for the things that are easiest and most comfortable for you. All right, so quick review. Holding the stick or the cane, you know, where the hook is closer to your thumb side, that's how I do it, that's how I learned it, that's how I teach it. And again, for the reason of it's very easy to kind of like go right into action with it very subtly and very sneakily. So I could also slide my hand down and have it where I could use that hook, either to hook them, to hook the hand that's holding something that might be trying to hurt me, to try and hook their leg and pull their leg out from under them. But again, it's really mostly so that I can just lift my guard and have the stick already be in a position that I could use to like protect my head, protect my face from something head on or coming at me from the side. I could lower it, and anywhere that I would use the outside part of my forearm to block, like your basic karate, kung fu, taekwondo, like all your striking arts that use blocking, they're going to block with that outside part of the forearm. Like you put up your shield, bring your shield across, you bring your shield down. You use this as a reinforcement of that same shield. Make sense? So we have our grip, we have our guard, we have our quick sneaky strike, we have our like overhand or basic combination of a quick sneaky strike into an overhand strike. You have the ability to lift and like push off or poke or stab or lunge. You have your basic like snap, a poke. You have your thrust. Then we have our basic strikes, holding the hook, where we swing it downward angle, across and back, across and back. Any swing should kind of bring you back into like the next swing. There should be some sort of flow to it. And then, of course, you have, if you were to grab it, either hook side up for striking purposes like so, or you were to grab it by sliding your hand down, picking it up and using it very similar to how we covered all of our other basic stick attacks, which is pretty much going to attack your bony targets. Anywhere on the head, elbow or rib, hips, knees, wrist, hands, collarbone. And again, if your stick is kind of heavy for you, I don't know, I think that's a good workout for you. I'm getting a little sweaty just bouncing around doing this stuff now for a video that's taking me, I don't know, 20 minutes or so. So it's good for your dexterity, it's good for your balance, it's good for your cardio, it's good for your warrior spirit, honestly. Well, if you made it this far and you like what I'm teaching or preaching, go ahead and give me a thumbs up and like this video. If you're loving it, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And if you gotta have it, make sure you hit the bell notification button and the little thing where it says all notifications so YouTube will let you know when the next video drops. If you're really digging it and you want more, you can find me on all social media platforms at 5 Elements Tactical. That's all I got for now, warriors. So until our paths cross again, pray for the best, prepare for the rest. I'm Kyoshi Dave Herman with 5 Elements Tactical Training. Thanks for watching.